Hey, David here with Krystle Stevens, and we're here to talk to you about the things we wish we knew when we got started in real estate. So, Krystle, I think it's like that kind of first year and a half where it's just very challenging to kind of figure out where to go, where to start in this career. So, if we could maybe share some lessons we learned with younger agents or people that are just kind of curious about the business and what we go through, I think it'd be cool to share with our audience. So first thing I had is the value of our network of agents.
Like, who is your network as a new agent?
Well, I think that originally I thought, well, why would I, want to be buddies with all my fellow agents, right? And I very quickly learned that there's a lot of different reasons there's value in having a good reputation with your fellow agents and having a good working relationship with your fellow agents. And so, let's just start off with, hey, they're going to answer your phone call when they see it's you calling, right? Mm-hmm. Whereas they might not prioritize your call relative to someone else.
Yeah, if you gave them a bad impression the first time, or didn't know what you were doing as a new agent, which is okay. It's okay to learn, but they may be less likely to put priority on your call or even your client's offer.
Right. I think asking a veteran agent, even when you're in a deal with them, just an open-ended question. Hey, how would you be handling this? Right? Like I just want to kind of learn from your perspective, mm-hmm. so I kind of know what you're thinking in this scenario that we're stuck in, right? As we're trying to work through a hurdle and kind of find that solution for both sides of the transaction. That's something I learned was okay, right? Just to ask questions of the cooperating agent, and they call them cooperating agents because you are trying to cooperate together to reach an end goal, right? If you have a motivated buyer, a motivated seller, and the agents are motivated to work together to get a good, end result for both clients, then it definitely helps get more deals done.
It's more smooth as well, right? You're not fighting against each other, you're working together. And that's what sometimes we forget as an agent because it is competitive. It's mm-hmm. sales.
Right.
And our clients, sometimes are at odds with each other, but we don't have to be at odds with the other party and with the other agent especially. And because no one wins if the deal falls through.
Right.
And sometimes it should because it's not the right thing, but you got to just take one step at a time to find out what is best and should it go through and how can you help facilitate that?
Right. Well, and there's, kind of changing to a second part of this is you need a network group, right? Or a referral groups, where, hey, my client's moving to Tucson. I know I'm calling, this specific agent, right? Because I want them to be connected with the best agent in Tucson, or at least the best one I know, or the best fit for them, right? Sometimes it's a personality thing when we're trying to connect our clients with the right tradesperson, inspector, agent, where they're moving, etc.
Yeah.
So a network of agents in the sense of referral partners, because hey, they're getting clients from us. They're going to send clients back to us when they've got clients moving to Flagstaff. It's just a really great partnership and a boost to your business. I'd say 30 to 40% of my business is referrals from other agents.
It really is an untapped potential for many agents. Kind of surrounding yourself with that sphere because you can't do it all. We want to do it all, but we can't. Mm-hmm. And we don't know all the answers. And so some agents have that specialty and in that area that we just can't reach. So it really is important. What a great thing to know now looking back, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, another thing I wish I knew was the value of the team of professionals. How fast can I put together those recommended people that I'm going to share the contact with my clients, right? There's always the risk of, hey, if we recommend someone and they do a poor job for our client, well, can't recommend them again, that's for sure. But it really looks bad on us. And that's a concern of mine every time I recommend someone is like, hey, how is this going to reflect on me? But for the client, right, giving them that reliable person that's going to show up quickly to take care of whatever challenge we have at hand, right, is so important. For example, I have, new clients, and we called in about 6 different tradespeople in a matter of 8 days from start to finish to accomplish projects. And in 8 days, I mean, their house is like a different house altogether. So with your team of professionals, what do you think the best value is that we can share with our clients, or that maybe you wish you knew about when you were new?
I think I wish maybe more that if I get a no answer, that it's not the end of the world and I just keep trying, right? If someone doesn't know the answer or can't do the work, or maybe even a lender is like, no, we can't do that loan. There's other options out there. So finding those options is like key for our clients, and understanding that and being okay with researching that, I guess, to find that right person, is, I think, why we're successful today, but didn't know as well as a brand new agent.
Right. I mean, it's not every day in residential real estate where you need a surveyor or a well expert, right? And when you meet that person, right, you might not work with them again for another year or two, but when you get that person as a reliable source for that important specialty, then it's super valuable. So yeah, sometimes you don't have that person in your pocket as far as like, hey, yeah, here, let me text you the contact.
Right.
But you do the research, you ask your other your network of agents, right? Hey, who do you use for this?
Yeah.
Who's a good person for this, right? Are they fair priced? Do they follow up and make sure the job's done quickly, or do they stand by their work, right? We have a flooring guy that we recommend to a lot of people, and he's amazing because he stands by his work. If a client's not happy, he fixes it, So how about the cost to get started? I wish I knew more about the cost to get started, right?
Yeah, it's an investment, and not just of money though, of time too, right? And it's cost of things you could be doing otherwise. And with a just 8 to 5 job, then life maybe seems a little more simple, and you can schedule the fun time with family or whatever it might be. But there's a cost to get your foot going, and to be able to keep going. There's a lot of ups and downs in real estate.
Yeah, so that brought up 3 thoughts to me. One, there's a cost of getting in the business, and you think, oh, I just need to go to real estate school, pass the test, hang my license, get some business cards, order some signs, right? That's
You're
it,
good to
right?
go.
Oh, wait, I need a professional photo, right? I need to, pay all these fees to all the associations. I have monthly expenses of doing business that don't get paid back until I start actually closing, on transactions.
Right.
I would say, I thought maybe getting started was $1,000. Now I'd probably look at it as like $15,000.
Mm-hmm.
Realistically, you probably need about 15 grand just like ready to go just to start. But I think then what you brought up was maybe the time management or the sacrifice we give to be available to our clients. So there's a cost to that. Can you touch on that?
Yeah, I mean there definitely is, because real estate isn't 9 to 5. It's when the client needs you, and mostly they're working 9 to 5, and so it's the evening hours, those hard times. But in addition to that, like really learning how to facilitate real estate beyond what you learn in school, that takes time and effort and research and practice and dialoguing back and forth, trying what works and what doesn't.
I think I've had so many people say, isn't it nice that you get to make your own schedule? And my response is, I don't make my schedule, my buyers do. Yeah. When that right house comes on the market, it's like, drop everything. We got to get over there. We got to go start researching this property, its history, the conditions about it, right? Are there floodplains? Is it septic sewer? Is it city, county utilities? You know, what's the zoning? You name it, right? There's so much to start digging into when you know it's a great property for your client. But it's also when that offer is received or is going out for a client, right? You kind of have to drop everything for that.
Yeah, to write up that contract and then double check it and triple check it.
And wait for your clients to sign it and then deliver it.
Right.
And then it's like that. It's like, oh, honey, it'll just be an hour, you know?
3 hours later. Sorry.
Yeah. All I have to do is wait for them to sign it and get it back and compose an email and make a case for why my client and their offer is great to the other agent and so forth, right? How long it takes to get established, I think, is another aspect, because we all wish we were good at what we do overnight. You know, what's the saying? How many hours do you have to be? Do you have to put in to become like, an expert at what you do? Is it like 10,000 hours or something?
Yeah, thousands.
I know athletes talk about it, right? They kind of calculate their time when it comes to their craft. Yeah. I think it's like that with anything, and in real estate. It might seem easy looking from the outside in. Oh, they make great money and it just happens quickly. And, they're just, paper pushing and all this stuff. Right. And it's like, I think it took me, about that 18-month mark of working diligently, like 50 hours a week, every week, even when I didn't have actual clients I was working with, of going to classes and going to, getting training in certain areas and having coffee with lenders and whatever it was, right? Any opportunity for me to learn. And about 18 months in, it was like, oh, I'm starting to figure this out, right?
Yeah. And if you don't put in that much up front, then it takes even longer, right? It's not like you can skip it.
Right.
You have to put it in. You have to put in the time and the effort.
I remember being really critical of one of our local agents, and she was kind of posting on social media when she got started, check out my side hustle. And I was like, side hustle? That's not doing anybody any good. Like you don't know what you're doing when it's your side hustle, or you just don't know what you don't know.
Right.
Right. So I think there's something to that as well. If you were, well, we've got a new agent on our team. Kenzie's doing great. Just closed her first deal in month 1.
It's amazing.
I know. Maybe there's something to say about being on a team.
Right.
What do you have to say if you were talking to Kenzie or the value of a team?
I do feel there's a lot of value in a team for many levels, but especially as an agent, as a new agent, having that wealth of knowledge to pull from, the experience, what to look out for and what to focus on, right? Because real estate really is endless. There's endless potential in your career, but you kind of have to focus for a minute on what's going to start you on that path. Otherwise, there's just too much and it's overwhelmed. So I think that's where a team comes into play, because we can kind of help give you those ideas and focus on the most important steps and kind of let go of the rest until you get there.
Right. And risk management. If you don't have a mentor getting into the business, it's so challenging to feel confident that you're doing something that protects your client, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of our value to our client is the limiting the liability in the scenario. The statistic I always remembered when I was getting started was 70% of real estate related lawsuits happen from for sale by owner situations.
Right.
And that's only 9% of transactions accounts for 70% of the lawsuits.
Kind of scary.
Right. So when you're a new agent, right, they always say, oh, only work in your area of expertise. Like, well, I haven't worked anywhere, right? It's my first deal.
What's my expertise?
Right. So it's the team, right? Limiting the liability, double checking the contracts, making recommendations on verbiage of how to, write an addendum or an inspection notice, et cetera. So.
Yeah, that's, I think, one of the biggest ones that we don't really learn in real estate school is how to write a buyer seller's inspection notice and do it in a way that is clear, concise, and protects both sides.
Yeah, which makes me think, how much did you learn in real estate school that you've actually applied in this business in over 10 years you've been in it?
That's hard to say, right? Because it gives you a foundation. That's what the school does. Kind of this foundation of the legalese, the process, and that liability point to some extent. But
Right.
when it comes to actually practicing, communicating well with your clients, finding new clients, and then writing a contract, that's something that you learn kind of the hard way just once you're in it.
Right. I remember thinking like, how many square feet are in a acre? How many acres are in
Right.
a section? You know, like the math aspect. And I'm like, I thought I was good at math, but that was actually how I tested poorly, was in the math part of it. But no, I remember getting into the business and thinking, wow, like all that did was teach me how to pass the test.
Mm-hmm.
Now I actually really have to learn what I'm doing. And I might be the minority here, but I have always felt that agents should be required to go through way more schooling to get their license. You know, an appraiser has to go through like a crazy amount. What is it, like 18 months minimum because of a mentorship and
Yeah, they
things
have to
like
do
that?
a mentorship. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Like a
To be an
trainee.
appraiser, I'd like to think, no offense to appraisers, but I'd like to think our job is at least as valuable
Right.
as the job of an appraiser. And why wouldn't we also have, you know, a really serious requirement? Home inspectors, right? They have pretty serious training and guidelines that they have to be aware of, and a learning curve. So, yeah, I think there's something to that too.
I think the most important thing for me is resilience, right? Established agents that I kind of surrounded myself with at the beginning made it look a little easier than it was.
Yeah.
And not to say that in a bad way, because I knew that they worked really hard,
Mm-hmm.
and they kind of taught me that, which was really important. But being able to slough it off when something doesn't go through, or you maybe make a mistake, you kind of get embarrassed or those kind of things. But having a laugh, learning from it, and moving forward is the only way to find success. Otherwise, I think it'd be really easy to give up.
Oh, yeah. I think, you know, the quicker you can pick yourself up is really the lesson, right? It's like,
Yeah.
I think about it, okay, how am I going to raise my kid? I want to raise them to be resilient and get back up and learn from failures and just kind of have a positive outlook about failing, right? You know, the most successful people in the world have probably failed the biggest of anybody else too, right? So I think in real estate, right, we deal with a lot of things that don't work out how we hope or our clients might be thinking when they get started in their journey,
Mm-hmm.
and how to work through those challenges and actually, you know, see the successes afterwards and see those happy clients when it actually all comes together. So, yeah, resilience, you know, not letting it get you down too long when something crappy happens,
Yeah.
when someone mistreats you.
And then surrounding yourself, as we talked about in the beginning, with a team. It doesn't have to be a specific real estate team, but people that support you and that you can count on to help
Mm-hmm.
you when things go wrong,
Right.
and to learn from, help make you better.
Yeah. Well, hey, we hope you got something out of this. If you have questions for us, you can always reach out to Krystle or myself. And we want to support our fellow agents and help them grow. And obviously be good cooperating agents when it's time that we get to work with you, if you're a real estate agent out there watching. So check out our next video. It's going to be a fun one. What do millionaires know about this housing market that the rest of us don't? All right, we'll see you later.